When you think about animal and farmer interactions, you probably only think about the negatives. Farmers building their crops on habitat used for wildlife, then the same wildlife eating their crops because it's on their land, causing the farmers to hire hunters and trappers to kill or remove them. But what if I told you there's actually a case where these two groups not only shared land, but benefited each other while doing it? Anseriformes, also called waterfowl, are a group of birds that are entirely dependent on water as a habitat to survive. They use marshes and wetlands as habitat to eat, sleep, and even breed, making it so it's incredibly important for them to have it to complete their life cycle. Waterfowl even means water bird. That's how important this habitat is for them. Unfortunately, a large majority of this habitat that these birds are dependent on has been removed or destroyed for other uses. In California alone, 90% of all the wetlands have been transformed for other uses, primarily being for agriculture. When they turn these wetlands into agriculture, they drain them, destroying the habitat and permanently changing into something that these species of birds are unable to use because they don't maintain any of the water, don't have the same services that these birds need. There is one exception though, something that makes it so this habitat is still able to be used by these animals, that being rice paddies like the one behind me. Rice paddies, also called rice fields because they're planted in fields, is a type of agriculture that actually has one additional step in it. About 3 weeks before the rice is harvested, the fields are flooded, making it so the rice can have the extra water it needs while killing any extra roots and weeds and other pests that aren't needed, especially during harvesting. Now, once these fields are flooded, it resembles pretty much a marshland. A lot of the same features, the flooded, shallower water, is still there, making it so ducks and geese and these waterfowl are able to use the habitat as if it was marshland before. Now, in the past, these fields were only flooded for those about 3 weeks before harvest. The benefits for the ducks and geese were nice, but the farmers didn't really care about that. So that's the habitat that they got in these fields while they could get it. But recently, after a ban on burning their fields, farmers looked for an alternative solution. And just like other things, pumping water in the field can naturally break down straw and other debris that they need to get rid of before they can plant again. So a lot of farmers began to re-pump water in and leave them flooded for months at a time after harvest, making it so they didn't have to pay to break down that straw and make it so it's cheaper to harvest afterwards. Something they realized though is by flooding it and letting that geese and ducks and those types of species back in here, they're actually helping them achieve what they wanted. They're destroying the straw, getting rid of weeds, and getting rid of natural pests. Ducks and geese are natural foragers, meaning that they sort of dig through the weeds and other stuff, making it so they ate seeds for competing plants, ate bugs, and most importantly, they broke down that straw while they were going through it. In a lot of tests, 50% of straw decomposition can occur just from ducks alone, making it a very valuable asset. This also changed how farmers did it. By flooding it, not only were they helping ducks, they're also helping their own farms. So a lot of government agencies promoted farmers to reflood their fields for the double benefit, some of them even getting paid to do so. By having these ducks in here, it not only helped them, but other species in the habitat around these fields as well. These ducks are basically natural herbicide and pesticide, making it so these don't have to be sprayed, saving the local environment from being exposed to them. And the machines used to get rid of the straw don't need to be used either, making it so that CO2 doesn't need to be emitted. By having these ducks in here, it's a win-win for both them and the farmer, which is sort of incredible. There isn't a lot of examples where both parties can win and we can share this land equally. I think it's a pretty good example of how, even though there's a lot of negatives with human-animal interactions, there's a lot positive to look for too, and we just need to sort of look at our options and see what else we can. And I mean, if you're ever looking for ducks, maybe check out a rice field, because they seem to like it.